All right, thank you, Tori. The State Assembly moving forward today on part of the women's equality agenda. That's the package of bills aimed at protecting women's rights in New York State. It's a 10-point plan, with each now being voted on separately. Fighting human trafficking taking center stage today, with the bill now headed to the governor's desk. Our Kimberly Howard is at the Capitol tonight. And Kimberly, one hurdle cleared today, but there is at least one issue that could still prove difficult to pass.
That's right, Greg. It's a pro-choice measure that would ensure that women are protected under New York state law when it comes to late-term abortions. Now, so far, the Republican-controlled Senate has failed to pass this measure for 2 years, but they have passed every other part of the agenda. And now leaves Senate Republicans hoping that the Assembly is going to plunge forward and pass these bills one by one, and some women's rights advocates hoping that the entire 10-point plan can still make it into law.
So we won't have the women's equality agenda until both houses pass all the component parts.
Advocates are clinging to the hope that a package of bills aimed at protecting women's rights in New York will still pass in its entirety. The women's equality agenda includes proposed laws to address things like equal pay, harassment issues, domestic violence, and the point of contention, protecting late-term abortions under New York state law.
I would not entertain it. I would vote no.
The bill has failed to pass in the now Republican-controlled Senate 2 years in a row. Democrats and the Assembly say it's time to reevaluate.
There was an election of new members, and particularly amongst the women's caucus, and we just had a general discussion, and this was the direction in which the women in the conference and the rest of the conference wanted to go.
Starting with passing a bill that would crack down on human trafficking, but Democrats say the abortion conversation isn't over.
At the right time, we will engage in that conversation with the Senate, but I do believe that, you know, the choice issue is one that is overwhelmingly supported in this House, in this conference, and we will look to pass that as well.
Some women's rights organizations sure hope so, because they say it's a matter of the states complying with federal law.
It doesn't change the legality. It doesn't change who can perform abortions. It doesn't change how you can access abortion services. It just makes our law much more streamlined and understandable.
Now, even though the women's equality agenda is only 10 points, there are several other pieces of legislation geared to this type of issue as well. One that would help families with paid time off from work when they have a newborn, and another one that would help with child care. Live at the Capitol, Kimberly Howard, CBS 6 News.
Thank you, Kimberly. Also happening right